Hello, Pastor, Justine, all the church family, North Stonington Baptist Church. I would love to be there in person, but we'll have to accept this as second best. I thank Pastor Gingerella for contacting me to share with you for a few minutes about what is happening in India now. I was a little nervous about it, as excited as I was, so I'm a bit late in sending this. I don't know why I should be nervous to talk about something so exciting and important in my life. Anyway, I want to share with you what's going on now. India remains closed, but we have been able to go in because of our contact to Harry, a man born in India. So we go in on visas that are related to that. So we have been blessed in that way. Americans have not been allowed to go into the country unless they have a very good reason. So we've been able to. This will not work for very long. So we're working on a new type of permission to go in, an overseas citizenship passport. I'm happy to report that India has gotten the first one of them. So the rest of us are going to work on applying. She will never have to apply for another visa again. I would likely always be able to get one because of being a widow, but this is even better. So we're working on that right now so that we will be able to go in, and I believe it will mean that we can stay as long and come and go as we please. There will be much more freedom. The missionary family that works with us, the Gerbers, are not able to get this. But at this moment, the Werners are in Wisconsin meeting with a large bee association. They're hoping that this association will take on Zachary and Matt as employees and emissaries to India, basically, which would allow them to have a business visa. So while there's trouble in traveling, we're working behind the scenes with different things. We're also reporting to churches. We are in much communication with the people there. Technology has been a blessing. It can be, both a curse and a blessing, but it has been good for communicating, encouraging, answering questions, but also just staying in touch as friends do. We use two main programs. We use WhatsApp, which many of you probably also use. It's good for telephone calls and texting and things like that, but also, we use Zoom. Zachary and other men from America often get up in the middle of the night to preach a Sunday morning service. As well, they do other classes and devotions throughout the week there. I would ask that you would pray for me that I could become more comfortable with the Zoom, because I have been teaching through paper, but I feel like I would like to do something more for the ladies this year, but I need to become comfortable with it. So pray for me in that. I would appreciate it. We hope to begin teaching at the Institute again soon. The Institute has been an invaluable part of the ministry, and it has equipped men not to just learn the Bible, but to pastor. And this was part of the vision for the Institute, bringing in American pastors that truly know how to shepherd. And I'm happy to say that years later, this is what we see in the men that are there. We see servants and shepherds, but also strong leaders. And for this, we're thankful. We're thankful for your part in doing this. And there will be more on that later. While we hope to open the Institute, there may be some other opportunities that we will want to tell you about. As far as what is going on there, we have a church building that's going up right now that we have part in. We have provided a little bit of financial support, but very little. Harry and I attended the first meeting in this starting church that came out of Charity Baptist Church, which is where Pastor Sampson is. There was an old woman across the road that had a small home and a property that she wanted to donate to the church. And as we speak, there is a church building going up there, and I believe that they're meeting there already. The bricks are being provided by some brick makers that are in another church. The labor is being provided by church members as well as other men from other churches within our group are coming in to help. So we are encouraging and we are praying, and that is what we're doing. And this is something that physically the people in India are doing themselves. There has been attack from the Hindus in the neighborhood. One of the man that will probably be pastoring the church at some point, was beaten pretty badly. But yet other Hindus came to their side and said, "Why are you doing that? These are good people. They don't hurt anybody." So there is conflict because other than this church, everybody else in the neighborhood are Hindus, and all of the members of this church are former Hindus. So this is a great need. There is a lot of persecution. Two other situations. This one really is urgent at the moment is Pastor Moses. He's been a longtime pastor. He has a big congregation, fairly large, and he has not accepted support from the ministry. There have been times we've helped him with special projects, but he said, "My church is big enough and they take care of me." Well, the property that they meet on legally is his, but they are being persecuted by his family, primarily led by his own father. The community leaders, which are both Hindu and Muslim, have supported him, and they said, "Well, why don't you, take a case out against your father, because this is your property, it's your right." And he won't do it because it's his father. So the community is very impressed with the way that Pastor Moses has lived before them. But his church family are being physically, verbally abused, as well as, that includes spitting on and smacking, and they're afraid to come to church. So he needs another location. He believes God will take care of this situation, but his church needs a place to meet. So they're looking for a place. I would really appreciate it if you would labor in prayer for this church and their needs. And if you would like to be part of it, we can help you. We can tell you how to be. In Mangalore, things are difficult. I had considered going in a month ago and realized I really couldn't. I was going to go in just to help with some paperwork and some, of course, teaching the ladies when I was there. I want to go through the book of Romans with them, but we're going to have to do that through Zoom. But right now, the officials are visiting churches to find out how they were started, and they know which are the mission churches. All of our churches do have a right to exist legally, but everything that's being done isn't legal. As you know, that can happen in a country. So pray for the churches and pray that things would open back up. This is not anything entirely new to us, because throughout the years there have been other problems, but God took care of those for us, and we were able to continue on and see the ministry continue to grow. The world is different now, though, and we don't know what the future holds, but we continue with the knowledge that God loves the Indian people more than we do and wants them to be saved. One of the good things of these struggles has been that the church families are growing closer in love to each other. Between the pandemic and other persecutions, and they have just learned to love each other and rely on each other in a way that is more than we've ever seen before. So again, this has been Romans 8:28. We have seen this. I do have a couple of personal prayer requests. It has been difficult for me since Harry's been gone. I ask that you would pray for me the same prayer I would have asked 20 years ago, that I would be faithful. I know that in faithfulness that God will meet my needs. My life is totally different. I don't have a clear vision for the future, but I'm endeavoring to be faithful daily. And this is what I would ask. As I visit churches, I would pray that I would have opportunities to minister to women more personally, because this has always been a burden of mine. Most of my time has spent ministering to women in India, but I certainly pray for opportunities to do so here. I think that God thinks good things for us, and that so long as we live, He has a plan for our lives. And truly, the two verses that have sustained me have been ones that maybe have sustained many of you: Romans 8:28 and Jeremiah 29:11. And I especially cling to that in the days that I don't know what my future holds or what I'm going to do. But always, I think that, and I'm quickly reminded that my life is not my own. I am bought with a price, but I do have stewardship, and I need to use my life well. Again, I want to thank each of you for your part in the lives of the ministry, but also in the lives of the Raskina family. I hope that at some time in the future, uh, you will be able to send your pastor to India again, or that he will be able to minister with us through Zoom in some way. If you would just pray that the ministry in India would continue to grow as it has now for since 1994. It's steadily grown, and that it has right now, it's not simply stabilized, it is growing during these difficult times and getting stronger. And so I would just ask that you would pray that God will continue that supernatural work there, and that He will continue a supernatural work in the lives of our family and our churches here. I thank you so much. Bye now.